So we're stopping of the talking of shit now. And hello everybody, we are having some major technical difficulties that is really pissing me off. So, waiting for a couple more players, but while we are, we will just go and get through our announcements. You can probably hear, hold on, let me just make sure you can hear the music in the background. So the players cannot get into the Foundry because the Ethernet is not hooked up correctly for some reason. So,
hey, what's up, guys?
Hi.
Yo.
So...
Sorry about that. Sorry I'm so late.
No problem.
The phone was like my main method of communicating with you guys through the Discord.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh no, if I plug that in with a Skype, I won't be able to figure out what the hell's going on.
So our sponsors, we've got the Armory in Fairhaven, Massachusetts. We are, of course, all right, everything just flashed and went weird. So anyway, we are sponsored by them. We're doing the word of the week, which we have not determined what the word of the week is yet this week. But when we do, you can go to the Armory or Tabletop Games in Westport, Massachusetts, and enter to win great prizes in store. So we'll figure out what the word of the week is by the end of tonight's very quick session. Hello, Fires of Atheline, great to see you. Next is Foundry Virtual Tabletop, which nobody can get into tonight, so you can hear the music that's playing. And maybe I'll be able to show you some stuff on stream from it, but it might not be necessary.
It was working last night, right?
Yes. Actually, I don't know, but probably. I think something's just up.
I don't think so. I tried getting into it last night.
I wasn't...
when we were talking, and it didn't work, unless it was because you weren't logged in.
No, I was definitely logged in. Okay. I guess I'll have to figure out what that is later. Next, we have a couple of really cool partnerships going on. We have the Compound Network, which I will spam that thingy right now. Local South Coast group here. The Compound has started streaming again, which is great. We've got 3D printers, mini painters, counterclockwise on YouTube. So please check them out, and of course the Compound. And then we have partnered with a dice maker called Normal Human Designs. They are in the process of creating our 20-sided die with a 30 instead of a 20, and I was just about to get an email, I think, from the guy tonight, where they're going to show me the video of how it's coming along. But we also have, you can order dice or normal human, nope, it's not working. Did I put Hornal? I put Hornal.
Yeah, Hornal.
Normal human. There we go. Hornal human. Oh, nice, a D30. I think I've seen one of those. My dad had all kinds of dice. So if you put in the code NAT30 at checkout for Normal Human Designs, you can get 10% off your order. And with Wormwood Gaming, which is local to Taunton, Mass, just like 20 minutes up the street from where we are, and probably 5 minutes down the road from where Zan and Aaric are, putting in the NAT30 code will get you free domestic shipping on orders from them. So we've got a bunch of
beautiful, beautiful work.
Yes, got a bunch of collaborations going with multiple partners. It is very nice, and most of them are local, which is the goal here. So we'll just keep on growing.
And old.
Old?
Yeah, like over 30.
Oh, 30 plus. So, we'll give Vidania another couple of minutes by running our long intro here, and then we'll get started on the Bums of Greenest main campaign. All right. We may have lost a player because of babies. That's how it goes in your 30s. So let's do a recap. It's been a week, I think, right?
I think so. Yeah.
All right. So last we left the Bums of Greenest, you all, hold on, I'm gonna minimize this and move this over here so that I can see my notes. You all had made your way from Castle Naratar through a portal and then found yourselves in a hunting lodge that was being occupied by Talus the White, an elven worm, well, not worm speaker, but wearer of the purple, who turned out to be an infiltrator from another organization that Issa belonged to. You spent the evening learning a little bit more about what the cult was up to, and Talus explained to you all that you needed to head down to the town of Parnast, a little ways down from the hunting lodge. And there you would find Skyreach Castle, currently, we would say docked, but a castle that can eventually fly. So you all rescued a couple of prisoners from the basement of the hunting lodge and headed down to Parnast after an evening and I guess we'll say a sermon by Talus and a mini excursion by Micaiah that she almost didn't make it through.
That was a bad morning.
It was. Along the way, you learned that Talus and Issa both belong to the Zentarim, or the Black Network, which is a network of like spies and infiltrators who kind of look out for their own, not necessarily friends of the Harpers or friends of many other organizations, but had been watching this cult for a while, which was just some interesting information. Luckily, your discussions with Talus gave you a banner with the 5 colors for the 5 heads of Tiamat, and you entered the town of Parnast kind of waving that banner, and were greeted, or have been greeted so far, with smiles from everyone around, and it is clear that there are cultists in this town. Chatted at the bar with a guy who you'd been given a little bit of a heads up by Talus that there was somebody in town, the wheelwright, who she knew was not happy about the circumstances. He was pretty easy to spot, getting drunk in the tavern while others laughed at him. So Aaric, well, first Avadon, but then Aaric approached, started a conversation, and we rejoin you as you, Aaric, are headed out of the tavern and walking towards the wheelwright's house, although he is pretty terrified. And Urdknot had struck up a little conversation with the halfling that was making fun of Gundolin, the wheelwright. So what are you doing?
I forgot about that part.
I've had a whole week to think about this, but like, I slacked the first half of the week, and then like, yesterday was our anniversary, and then like,
You're fading. You're getting lower and lower. For me, anyway.
and then there was like a stressful situation going on, and then it's like, oh crap, now it's time to play.
That means you just go with your gut.
Yep, that's generally what I do.
So Urdknot, you stand in the tavern next to the table where you had just handed a halfling woman who was making fun of Gundolin as he walked out the door, handed her a tankard, and she was laughing about how Gundolin is the butt of all the jokes as she looks at his little bubble butt walking out of the door. With and then Aaric, as you guys are headed down from the front of the tavern towards the wheelwrights, he is kind of glancing over at you with a little bit of and he's shaking. Who wants?
So who do you want to start first, me or him?
It's whoever wants to go first. The rest of you are all eating meals at the table in the tavern.
Cabbage.
Exactly what Lauren / Avadon needs to smell wonderful. Yay. Yay. I'm not gonna say, Aaric isn't gonna say much as we just walk towards the his shop / house.
Okay.
Let him stew as we walk.
Alright.
Alright, so I had handed the halfling the tankard. She took it, right?
Yep, and she's laughing with two others at the table, two humans, a male and a female.
Alright. I'll pull a chair over and sit myself down and just start chuckling along with them. And as he sits, he does this. And then asks, "What are you two drinking?"
To the humans, is that?
Yes.
Okay. So they look over at you, and the woman is like, "Well, he's pretty much only got mead here, so that's what we're drinking." And the guy looks over at the barkeep who's standing behind the bar now. He'd come out from the back, and he's standing there, and the guy looks over and is like, "Ragnar, you need to get a better selection here." And Ragnar just goes, "Fuck you."
It's one of those places. I'll go and around for the table.
And the pot boy who's standing also next to Ragnar just kind of nudges him, and the boy gets the drinks ready and then comes over, placing each tankard down. And the halfling is like, "Wow, this is impressive. What do we owe the honor?"
Just being new in town.
"Oh yeah, you and your group there. Where did you come from?"
Up the lodge.
"Ah, the lodge. Did you drop off your stuff outside?"
Yes.
It begins.
Oh no, we had no stuff. We were sent here last minute.
"Oh, last minute." And the three of them look at each other, and they look over at your group. And the halfling woman is like drinking her drink. She's like, "Why last minute?"
They don't pay me to ask questions. I just go what I'm told.
"Ah, here, here." And she raises her cup. Clanks it against your cup of mead, and then starts drinking even more. The other two are just kind of sitting there, sipping, looking over at your group there. The banner was left with the table, correct? Aaric didn't take it with him. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think you did.
No, I specifically left it with the crew.
Okay.
It's still tied onto that sapling lance spear that I made.
All right.
Yeah, he goes. Orcleth is the name.
Extra sweet.
Orcleth. The halfling turns and she says, "I'm Telly. Nice to meet you." And then the guy says, "Conrad."
Tilly and Minnie.
Callie, sorry.
Wait, Say the names again.
Tally.
Did you just change it?
Tally is the.
Tab.
I meant to say Tally. Tally is the halfling.
Oh,
Conrad
okay.
is the human guy, and Minnie is the human woman.
All right. Or not. Just kind of nods at each of them. How long have you been posted here?
So Tally looks at you as she's sipping, and then she puts it down and she says, "Only a few months. Things are getting serious now. So we've been hanging out here. Nice town. Real friendly."
Aye, seems that way.
So are you gonna be on the castle when it takes off?
I believe that was the marching orders.
Lucky. We have to stay behind. And Conrad like shakes his head. He's like, "I still don't even know why. I don't know why we can't just all go."
Hey, it does look large enough to fit everybody.
Yeah, it's a fucking cloud giant castle. There's plenty of space. I don't know why they have to leave us behind. We always get left behind. And you see Tally give him a look like, "Come on. We don't make the orders here."
DM, is the tavern like loud, like from where we're sitting? Because I think Avadon went into the corner to eat cabbage after her flirtatious fail.
Just with her hands. Just with her hands in
Yeah.
the bowl.
Yeah, there's
Shoving it in. Would I be able to hear anything or?
Yeah, you guys can hear the whole conversation. They're right next to you. Hey, Lord Nicto! Thank you for the raid!
I really should hear those sound effects.
Thank you! Yeah, sorry guys, I can't
And there
share
was
them.
much rejoicing.
Demon Blade Wolf, thank you for the follow. We are having a whole ton of technical difficulties at the moment, so we're just
And there
kind
was
of
much
rolling through it.
rejoicing.
Drazar46, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Dirty 30s.
Oh, but we are
And
nice,
Demon Blade,
and
thank
we
you for the
will
host.
attend to your every,
Thanks everybody.
every need.
D&D. Yeah, so you are sitting at a table right next to theirs. There's probably like a little over 12.5 people in the tavern at the moment, but you guys can hear. It's not it's not like super loud, and there's no music playing or anything.
Okay.
Were you gonna do anything, or just asking for position?
Me, I just wanted to know if I could
Okay.
hear
She
the
was just
conversation
asking
over
for a
my
friend.
crunching.
She's just asking for a friend.
Okay. So what was I gonna? Lost my train of thought.
Gosh
Sorry.
darn it, Avadon, I can't hear what you're saying over there because you're crunching on your freaking cabbage so loud.
No.
It's not like it's heated cabbage, it's a head of cabbage, and she's just
Oh, absolutely.
just
No, she's actually stabbing it with her horns. Cabbage.
Dude, I have like 12 cabbage in my fridge right now, no lie, so I will drag one out. But
So, as you're talking to Tally, she is like, "Oh, hold on 1 second," and she stands up and starts walking towards the bar. And Urdknot, you turn to look as she goes, and catch a glimpse of that ass, and it is the flattest ass you think you have probably ever seen, at least on a halfling, which are known for having particularly, round and full behind.
buttocks.
Must be
Buttocks.
sitting around all day.
But
at
this
the
one,
bar.
you're
I
like,
have that cake.
oh, as she walks by, and there's just nothing there.
How does she sit? How does she just not
That's
slide
exactly
off
what
the
he's
bench?
wondering as she walks away.
The tailbone grips the back of the seat.
It's true. It's true, Graham. Not all bums have volume, and that's okay. You're just like,
She
okay.
uses hold person.
She heads over to the bar and leans in and whispers something in, and Ragnar like leans down because he's pretty tall compared to her, and she whispers something to him, and then he like guffaws, slaps his knee, stands up, and then she walks back over with this like grin on her face like she just had the best joke ever, and Ragnar agreed. She comes, sits down.
Can we hear the joke?
And she looks at you and she's like, no.
Oh, one of those then, one of those. He just laughs along, having a jolly good time.
She's like, you bet your ass. And she drinks.
Say, you don't know when the castle is supposed to leave. We're not gonna miss it by having a couple of drinks and some warm food, are we?
She looks at you and she's like, no, I have no idea. I mean, it's supposed to be soon. I know that. You might want to report to the captain just to make sure.
Where could I find him?
She looks over at Ragnar and she's like, hey Ragnar, where's the captain? And he says, who's asking? He's like wiping a glass behind the bar.
I am.
And who are you? Other than a fine guest here at my establishment.
We're mutual friends sent from the lodge.
Oh yeah? Who's your mutual friend?
What's her name? Tell us. Tell us.
I wish that was canon. Like he was just like, what was her name?
And everyone's just like,
Avadon with a mouthful of cabbage. You know?
I think her name was Talus.
like, what do you need with the captain? And
We were just sent here.
okay.
You know, best to check in with the proper chain of command.
Yeah, all right, give me a minute. And he disappears into the back. So, Aaric, as you are walking through the square, you finally approach the wheelwright's house, and his hands are like shaking as he reaches down and grabs one of his, he grabs a key from his pocket and unlocks this like padlock that's in the door, and then opens it up. He walks over to a lantern inside, and you can see as you walk in, it's a wooden building, and it's the one that had the awning with the wheel kind of lazily spinning around on the top, and inside it's very clearly a wheelwright's shop / like workshop space. Nothing too fancy, but there are wheel parts and wheels for sale, and then also just an area where he can gather stuff and do repairs within the building, as well as like gather his things to do repairs outside on wagons or things that don't fit inside the building. There is a set of stairs that leads up, so it's clear that he also most likely lives here. And he just kind of steps in, lights up some of the lanterns in the room, and turns to look at you, standing in front of a counter area.
He doesn't say anything. All right. Let's see. I had the same thing with Cubor. It was like I should have thought of something to say all week. So let's see. I'll ask. How do you pronounce? Is it Gundalane or Gundalin?
Gundalin, you heard.
So you're Gundalin.
And he looks at you and he says, I I am. And you are?
No one of consequence. You seem very nervous.
Well, yeah, I'm speaking
Okay.
to a man who won't even tell me his name.
My friends call me Trognor.
Trogdor. All right.
I was gonna say so badly. I was like, they call me Trognor the Brennan. That's not the thing to say right now. Are you alone here? I'm gonna try to say this all in the most unthreatening manner that a man bristling with weapons can say.
You see him, he kind of takes a little step back closer to the counter and like puts his hand on the counter and he says, yes.
Aaric's gonna put his hands up. Peace, friend. Nope, there's no problem here. We may be able to make some sort of a friendship here. Tell me why you don't like the cult.
And when you say that, he takes another step back towards, and he's like looking around, kind of almost like looking past you, at the door that's open to the street, looking like.
Oh, it's still open.
He came in before you.
All right. I'll follow his eyes and. You want me to close that? Speak a little bit more freely.
He doesn't answer. He's just kind of staring at you.
I'm only a step or two inside the door, so I'll just kind of nudge it shut. Is there any lock on it on the inside?
No.
Alright. So I'll kick it shut gently.
You can tell.
And,
so there's no lock, but
with
there's
his hands, with my hands.
There's a what's that word that I'm looking for? Not a bolt, but a bar that you can place and it will hold the door shut.
Sure. I won't do that. That just seems a little overly threatening.
Like looking back, like
It's a large man with lots of.
It's like exactly
He's
locked in with me, pal. But Aaric is still gonna have his
turns
hands.
around and proceeds to unzip his pants.
like that.
Assume the position.
Okay.
So. Yeah. So Aaric is gonna just stay where he is with his hands up, and he's gonna say, "I know this probably seems pretty awkward and strange, seeing as you just came in with some scary-looking folk, especially my very pale friend who seemed to take a liking to you. But we mean you no harm. I mean you no harm. I promise you that I'm not here to hurt you."
He says, "Oh, okay. I don't know anything of this cult that you speak of, friend."
Well, you haven't noticed all the odd people around here and the giant castle that seems to be filled with strange people?
It looks normal to me.
Was he looking at the banner when we had come in?
Yeah.
And that strange banner that we had that you seemed to be pretty, had an eyeful for, that didn't mean anything to you?
Make a persuasion check.
Are we using real dice, or do you want me to use D&D Beyond?
Whatever you want.
Let's use D&D Beyond because I don't want to do the modifier thing. Would you say it was a
Persuasion. Yeah.
Oh, that's a 15 plus 5. That's a 20.
Nice.
Woo!
So you see his demeanor, like he's eyeing you up and down, kind of like not quite sure, and then He doesn't say anything for a moment, but after a second of you just kind of standing there, facing off, looking at each other, there's almost like this sigh that he does, almost as if he's saying, well, it's either a trap or it's not, and he's gonna go for it. And he says, yeah, I've seen that banner. You wave it around, but you say you're my friend. Anyone who's part of the cult is not a friend of mine. You can turn me in if you want.
Are there any sitting like areas in this front part of the shop or anything like that?
Yeah, there's a couple of chairs that you could sit in off to the side.
I'm gonna walk over to one of them and just take a seat. Maybe kick up my leg on the one of the other ones across from it. Trust me, friend. Not everybody who carries that banner is an enemy. Not us, at least.
And he looks at you and he's like, anyone who carries that banner and hails that queen is not a friend of mine. If you're gonna turn me in, just do it.
I won't be turning anybody in. As far as I'm concerned, any queens, gods, goddesses can all go to hell. But I know that you don't like the cult, and we know that you don't want the cult around. Have you lived here long?
My whole life.
Parnas? And when did they show up?
Been over a year.
And you want to see them gone?
Yeah.
Well, I've got a merry band of friends that can see what we can do about that. But we need information. And your name came up.
From who?
And friend, I can't tell you that. We have the same goal, though. Let that be enough. You want them gone. We want them stopped. I'm being paid a lot to make that happen. I hope. I'm getting paid a lot to make that happen. We just need information.
Well,
Is there any kind of a deal? Sorry, go ahead.
they came here about a year ago. A little over a year. Brought a bunch of thugs in with them. Turned out several people here were already part of it. After it became clear that we couldn't fight them, my neighbors just joined them.
So everybody here besides you? You're the only one that's not part of this?
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't know. It's too risky to talk about it. I'm just stupid, apparently. Or maybe I'm just not big enough of a threat, so they don't care. When they need me, I need to fix their wagons that they use to bring the loot into the castle over there. When the wheels break, it's me they call on. It's probably the only thing that's kept me alive.
All right. Who's in charge here?
Well, here in the town, it's Captain Awfulstan. He's
Awful Stan.
Awfulstan.
He's an awful name.
I think I told you this name like 2 sessions ago.
Yeah.
You know,
Awful
names
Stan.
go in, names don't come out.
Awfulstan, Awfulstan. Depends on your accent.
Tiefling.
He commands all the forces here in Parnas. He monitors everyone who comes in and out. He's already seen you, I'm sure. Watches all the merchandise. And he reports to Resmir, the Black Dragonborn. We don't see her often, but she came through not long, a few hours ago, maybe yesterday, in a hurry.
Aaric would just smile at that.
We never
Not
really
quite a
know where
smile.
she is. She's always in hiding.
Safe to say she's in the giant flying castle.
Probably. We're just peons to her, so she probably doesn't spend too much time in our shitty little village. Shitty. Shit.
Bullshit.
Bullshit. This village is bullshit.
Bullshit. Really.
Is there any- We need to get into that castle. Me and my friends. Besides just walking through the front door. Any idea? You've been here, you said a year. Any idea, any way into that castle?
Well, honestly, the front door is your best bet. If you come bearing that banner and they believe you to be part of the cult, then as long as you can get in there, you know the...
Aric's just gonna go, and he just hears Urdknot in his head just going, just walk in with a clipboard and a lanyard.
I don't sound like that.
He does in my head. And he's just gonna go, oh, the fucking old man. The old man was right. Fuck.
They're not too friendly to strangers around here, though, so you do need to... That banner will get you pretty far, but to be safe, I can tell you, they've got a couple of passphrases, and he walks around to the other side of the counter, and you can tell that's where he would stand if people came in and were going to purchase something. And he just kind of like leans forward on the counter, and he's like rubbing his face and his head. And he looks over at you sitting in the chair, and he's like, you know, if this is a trap, I don't care anymore. It's been over a year. Let them take me. Fuck your wagons and their wheels. Fucking wheels and wagons.
Sometimes life is just bullshit.
Wagon wheels.
You said you had some sort of passphrase.
Yeah, when you get through the front, there are ogres and giants, kobolds, members of the cult. There's a lot on that castle. It's a built for giants. You're gonna want to say either Tiamat, our mother and strength, or Hail, Blagafkus. That I'll BL
Hail, blah, blah.
Blogdopus.
Hail,
I think only Eric can say that if it's hail.
Hail,
Or that's just the noise that Avadon makes when she's all snotty.
So it's
Blog.
Blagotthkus. Yeah, I had to try to figure out how to pronounce that. Blogotthkus.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Okay, I thought I misspelled that.
Nope.
Looking at it, I was like, "There's no way that's right."
It's still just gibberish.
Flagicus.
Lagathus.
And then he says that's the name of the cloud giant who steers the castle.
Oh,
So
Jesus.
there's a giant in the castle.
There are many giants in the castle. It is a castle for giants.
Thinking on Urdknot for a minute, and again, just shakes his head, wondering how the hell Urdknot is gonna feel about a castle full of giants, since he so ardently friggin' hates those things. Just taking a note. See, there it is. Exactly whatever that noise was. Is there anything else you can tell me about this castle? Any other phrases? Any surprises?
Well, that stable you passed by on your way in, they've got some trained wyverns in there. When the castle is in the air, I've seen some of the cultists use them to get in there, so I don't know how many are in there at the moment. But be careful.
Alright. Do you plan on staying here?
I've got nowhere else to go. Trogdor.
Alright. If anyone comes sniffing around, this Captain Athelstan, the captain.
Yeah.
You gonna tell him we were here, that I was here? Tell him that we had a wagon a mile outside of town, 2 miles out of town, with a broken axle, and that's why I had to talk to you.
All right. You really gonna go up in that castle? You and 5 others?
It's what we do.
Hmm.
He does not sound very confident. Aaric is gonna slowly stand. I'll slowly stand, reach into my pouch, and I'll grab 3 gold pieces, and I'll lay them on the counter.
Yeah.
Slide them over to him.
He looks at them as you slide them over, and then he looks up at you and he's like, just one more thing. I don't know much other than wheels and wagons, but I do know that dragons and giants, they don't get along, and I don't understand why a dragon would be using a giant's castle. Giants hate dragons. Dragons hate everyone. It just doesn't make any sense. He like rubs his head again.
Well, sowing division and discord is kind of what we do. We'll make it work.
But to Benny Hill music.
It's still discord, no matter if it's comedic or not. Thank you very much for your time, Shipwright. Wheelwright.
I thought you said
Just call him
shipwreck.
Shipwright.
No, I said
Shipwright.
I said shipwright is what I said because I was working on
Thank you
I
for your
was
time,
working on it.
Shipwright.
I thought he said sheriff. I thought he said Sheriff Wainwright.
Sheriff Shipwright Wainwright.
Thank you, Sheriff Wainwright.
a shipwright because I was working on Sea Hall stuff. Guys who build ships.
Yeah. It's
But it's not a shipwright.
Sheriff
He's a wheel.
Shipwright
shh.
Wainwright. Those are the words I heard come out of your mouth.
Sheriff Shane Shipwright.
I think we just got the word of the week.
Shipwrick.
Yeah.
I can't. They gotta
Sheriff
be family-friendly words.
Oh, that's right. Damn it.
Sheriff.
We can go with sheriff.
Yeah, Sheriff.
Well, we're not done with the session yet.
All right, okay, we'll wait.
That
Yeah,
one goes on the back.
Keep going. If it can't be shipwreck, we can wait.
Can't be shipwreck.
Could be brick.
Frick.
Brick.
All right.
Gwendolyn, thank you for your time.
Thank you, William. Thank you.
Oh, cool. Grimoire. God, I can't talk.
Grimoire.
Never mind, I'm done.
Grandma.
I'm done.
All right, so back in the tavern, you all are sitting there. Micaiah, Vidania, Zan, Avadon, kind of watching Urdknot work his magic. Avadon, as you're like going to eat, you reach up and are going to like stuff some food in your mouth. And when you do, all of a sudden your hand just like lets go of the food and it dribbles down onto your face and onto your chest and just like it drops down onto you. And you're like, your hand just let go of the food.
Ugh. Do I have a napkin or anything?
No. You've got stuff on, like you've got your clothes.
You got shirt sleeves.
I'll just like wipe it away. And actually, I'll eat it. Did it land somewhere?
It
that I
just
can
landed
pick it up
right
and
on
eat
like
it?
your chest, kind of. It was cabbage, so it just kind of like dribbled down.
I'll pick the cabbage up off of my boobs and eat the cabbage.
Yes. How did you know that's one of my things in my diary?
And then she lapped up the cabbage.
Like an animal.
Keep going.
So, yeah, Zan, Micaiah, you would have seen that where she was eating, and then all of a sudden it all just, like her hand kind of almost like flamboyantly opened, like, as she was reaching.
Do you see
So
this? Telling you something's wrong with her lately. Now she
Did
can't
I-
even eat right.
Is everything all right, Avadon?
Everything's fine. I'm just a little frazzled. I'm not used to being, well, I guess I am used to being. It's been a long time since someone looked at me with eyes like that. I forgot how scary I can be to some creatures.
Yeah, well, yeah, scary, all right.
I've learned never to judge a book by its cover in this world.
I wish there were more like you, my friend.
And Vidania is just sitting at the table, and you can see her kind of like gently, just kind of stroking the fur that is like draped over her shoulders. Just like absentmindedly, just watching you guys, hugging her fur.
Vidania, do you want to come over here next to us, or do you want to stay there where you are?
Well, she's at your table.
Do you want to come on this side, or do you want to stay over there?
She's like, let's stay where I am.
All right.
Damn, how did I feel like when my hand did that? Like, was there any like sensation, or was it just like derp and move on?
You felt confused, like you did not have control over your hand, and it just did that by itself.
While we're talking, can Zan kind of scope out the room? Are we like the center of attention, or is anybody like looking kind of hard at us?
Make a perception check.
It's funny in my notes.
14.
What do you have in your notes?
Lost control of my hand and dropped my cabbage.
Good note.
My
That's a solid note.
We both said that at the same time.
Picked up cabbage and gnawed on
I
it.
think the word of the week should be cabbage now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Word of the
definitely.
week.
I think it should have always been cabbage.
All right, here we go. So I'm gonna play my secret word thing.
So what's
Word of the
today's
week.
secret word,
My cabbages.
Cabbage. Yay! The word
That's
is
the only kind of babies Lauren's got at home. Cabbage Patch Babies in her fridge.
yay!
If we didn't have kids, I would buy an air horn for the word of the week.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah, so the word of the week is cabbage.
Don't give her any ideas. She'll find the sound effect air horn and scare the shit out of all of us.
We can't hear it.
Yeah, you can't hear it yet. I'll figure it out.
The sound effect is a fart
Yeah.
noise for
Hey.
cabbage.
So anybody who's local
We
who's
forgot.
watching us, go to the Armory or Tabletop Games and enter for some prizes in store with the word of the week. So sorry, somebody asked a question. What did you say? Nobody?
When me.
Asking.
I
Oh,
was
yes, there's
asking
no-
if anyone.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you take a look around and you do see the pot boy, and he's just kind of chilling at the counter. He seems to be watching you guys. He's a young kid. I didn't write down his name because I suck. So
We need another Timmy.
his name now? I don't remember what it was.
No,
It's
I
Timmy.
guess he's Timmy number 1 because you haven't killed any Timmys
Yeah,
yet.
there's no Timmys. So it's Timmy because I can't remember.
Timmy.
So he's just kind of sitting at the counter, and when you look over, thanks for the lurk, William. When you look over, he looks over at you. He kind of smiles. He's like,
Creepy.
he's like 18 or 19, Graham. So it's okay. But you can't see.
That's old enough.
You can't see his bum
Oh, Jesus.
at the moment.
That's Avadon's age.
Yeah, that's how old Avadon is.
Very young tiefling.
So as you guys are standing there or sitting there watching, Zan, you look over and the young pot boy is cleaning. He smiles, and then you hear somebody further off in the tavern goes, "Timmy!" Then he looks over, jogs over.
Timmy.
I love that that's now canon.
Is there a
He
Jimmy too?
says, turns to him and says, Timber!
Jimmy was the one with the crutches.
Yeah, he does.
And the stutter.
Well,
And
what a great audience.
as he runs off, Avadon, you catch a glimpse.
Mhm.
He is. I don't know a good way to describe this one. He's wearing like your typical what would those be called? Just standard kind of cloth.
Booty shorts.
Yeah, there you go. He's wearing some cloth booty shorts. Like a little bit sort of like Abrams sweat shorts, except they're tighter fitting. And
Oh.
as he runs by, you're like, wow, it's really fucking cold outside for like a human. But this kid is wearing those shorts like a pro, and he runs that way, and you watch little bouncing of each cheek.
Are his cheeks so tight that they make a squeaky noise like in SpongeBob?
You assume that if you were close enough to hear, and if it wasn't so loud.
I love that. I love when he does that.
Oh no, Annie watches SpongeBob.
I do. Oh my god. That's great.
So he heads over to take an order. That's it. That's all that happens because I needed to describe a bomb of an NPC.
So much trouble. He goes over and places an order.
He's like, you got it.
That's all that
And
happens.
then he heads back.
Is he trying to hold something between his butt cheeks?
Somebody get the man.
You don't know him well enough. You'd have to ask.
I don't want to. I'll scare him. I'll just.
Hey, are you
is
holding
anybody
something
sitting
between your
next to
butt
me?
cheeks?
He's wearing tight shorts in the wintertime. Like,
He's a
he's
teenager.
down for shit.
He's a young man.
He's gonna see.
He's obviously not trying to hide
Avadon's,
anything.
Avadon's
That
gonna
is
try
from
to talk to him.
Massachusetts. People wear shorts year round.
I
up here.
know.
It's true.
Yep.
All right.
No.
So what are you all doing in the tavern here?
I'm just yucking it up with the table I'm at.
Okay.
Just laughing at their jokes.
By this time, Xander, realizing Aaric has been left alone with someone who may or may not like the cult, is starting to think, oh no, I hope Aaric didn't kill him. Xander's going to slowly get up from the table and head towards the door.
Okay. Vidania looks up at you as you go. Just kind of watches.
Yeah. Do I see him go?
Oh yeah, you'd see him go. You guys are all sitting in right at the same table there. Are you trying to be stealthy? Or just-
Not so much stealthy, but just kind of casual.
Okay.
Not in a hurry or anything.
So
And
you're
I'll use my quiver to tell the people at the table I'm going to make sure Aaric did not kill the wheelmaker.
Captain Shipwreck.
And as you're heading out the door, you see the pot boy. He is getting everything ready. He sees you start walking out, and he's like, "Hey, can I get you anything? You need another round?
I'm fine, thank you.
Are you sure? I can get you something. We've got meat.
And
We've got
Zan's just gonna keep walking.
cabbage. And we've got some sausage."
He's got a real crush on Zan.
I'll take some sausage, please, over here.
He's like,
Back.
"Hey, all right, hold on."
I'd have thought it was Vidania or Avadon that would have said that one.
Wow.
Talking about
Jeez.
assumptions.
Oh, while Urdknot's over there yucking it up with them, can he have asked at some point if there was a place that we could restock our provisions? Because they sent us with just what we had on us.
So, let's see. What time did I say it was? It's probably about, it's about like 3:30. So Tally looks at you and she's like, "What do you need, friend?" What did you say your name
Yeah.
was?
Orcleth.
Orcleth.
Orcleth Rockbottom.
All right. What are you looking to get?
A couple of my friends are low on arrows. You know, that sort of thing.
Well, you should be able to stock up in the barracks and in the castle. You guys are
Okay, good.
heading over there, right?
That was the orders.
Yeah. Should be good to go in there. Lucky sons of bitches.
Like she's
What about
just something
potions?
else.
They have potions in there. Some healing potions, I mean.
Conrad, the human guy, he looks at you, he's like, "Potions? Those are tough to come by. Not every day you can get some healing potions around here."
Aye, they are rare.
Yeah. I mean, I would assume maybe they've got some stockpiled. They've been loading everything for, well, a good year into that castle. So,
Oh, I've seen some of the halls. Very impressive.
yeah. Tiamat is going to be very proud. And then
It will be glorious.
the woman sitting there laughs. She's like you know what Tiamat likes. It's like, what? That's what Resmir says.
DM, how long has Urdie been over there by this amount of time? Like, has he been over there for a long time?
Yeah, so the time that's gone by, I would say, is probably like 20 minutes. I mean, it's not a super long amount of time. As Xander, you're walking out and towards the wheelwrights. Aaric, you had left, right? Or were you staying inside?
I was still, when we ended that, I hadn't left yet.
Okay. So Zan, you head out into the chilly air here. The snow is still coming down. And you don't see Aaric anywhere, but you do know that you passed the wheelwright on your way to the tavern.
Are there any windows on the outside of the building?
Yeah, there's a couple of windows, and at this point, when you had passed the first time, it was dark in there, but as you are approaching from the tavern, you can see that it's light. There's light inside now.
I'm just going to take a quick peek into the window before I approach the door to make sure there's still 2 alive people in there.
All right, make a I'm gonna say make a performance check, unless you're trying to be obvious about it. You're like kind of casually.
No.
All right, so make a performance check for casually walking up to the window, because the angle that you would be at.
That's a nat 20.
All right, there you go. So you just kind of like casually
No
lean
bonus.
down to tie your shoe, stand back up, peek into the window. You can see as you peek in on your way to the door, Aaric is sitting in a chair. You can see all of the wheelwright paraphernalia around, and you can see the Gundolin on the other side of a counter, and he's just kind of like rubbing his head and talking a little bit.
Using my quiver, I'm going to ask Aaric, is it safe to come in?
Aaric would have no clue where he is because he can't see him, so he's like, then he's gonna tell Gundolin, he's gonna just knock on the counter to get his attention. Like, I have a friend coming. And don't be surprised. Don't be scared.
And he sits up. He like stands straight up. He's like, friend, another friend.
A friend of mine. Yes.
Right.
You can trust him. I trust him.
Don't have much choice.
And you just look towards the door. I don't know where Zan is. I would assume that he's somewhere near there, and he'll just give one of those like, "Come on in." Shake his head.
Xander will head towards the door.
All right. So when you enter the wheelwright, you can see it's still a little bit chilly in there actually, because he hadn't been in there for a little while and was over drinking at the bar, but cozier. You can see the wheelwright just staring at you from the counter. He kind of glances over at Aaric every once in a while and is looking at you.
Aaric makes sure that his hands are still on the counter.
Good.
I'm trying to make this guy feel real comfortable. Don't want to give
So
me kind of an
comfortable.
excuse
Oh my god.
to run.
I'll come in and close the door behind me.
Okay. So Micaiah, you are sitting at the table with Avadon. And I wouldn't say it's just the two of you, because Vidania is definitely there, but she's just kind of like snuggling with her security blanket at the moment and watching Urdknot do his thing. So you and Avadon are sitting there at the table.
You know, I'm glad that we're here and have some time to talk. Listen, I'm sorry that I blew up at you like that. It's just, I've had some, alright. Well, since I've been saying we gotta be honest, I'll be honest with you, and I'll let you know something. You remember when we went to see that fortune teller lady?
And Vidania, you see in that moment, she kind of looks over and is listening in on the two of you as well.
And I'll like look over at Vidania, let her know she's like included in the conversation too. Like I'm not trying to exclude her. And just kind of I'll relay to both of them. I don't know if I should say it out loud though, because I know the boys are listening. I don't know if they want to know, but can I private message Avadon what happened?
Ooh, she's
Not
being
say it out
extra
loud.
quiet.
I don't know if they really want to know right now, because they haven't heard, right? You guys never listened.
Yeah, they haven't
Nope.
heard. That's up to you guys. If
I don't want to spoil it, so I'm gonna leave it up to you.
well, so
y'all.
you guys are like level 5, level 6 now. So
7.
oh yeah, you're level 7. So I would say it's up to the players whether or not they want to hear what they would not necessarily have heard if they weren't there. You can you can deafen yourself or whatever you want to do, if that's what you want to do. But at level 7, I'd say you're kind of at a point where you guys can separate between what you know
Mature.
and what you don't know. So
I just don't know if they want to hear. I know they can separate it. I just don't know
yeah.
if they want to know.
So if
or
you don't
they
want to hear,
wanted it to be
you can
expressed.
mute, and I'll do a little like when she's done.
Alright.
I don't
I'll
want
If you don't want to
yeah,
hear,
I'm gonna take mine.
so
I'll be right. I'm
pick
gonna
up.
hit the bathroom. I'll use
Alright.
this time to hit the bathrooms.
Okay.
Dan's like, nah, I want to know.
No, I've been waiting months for this. I have not gone back and listened to it, so I am all in.
He's like a little kid. He's like, oh yes, finally.
This is the stuff I came here for.
I know. So, Micaiah will continue. And she says, you know, it turns out that my mother was lying to me my whole life. And so, you know, about who my father was, about my whole essentially. And so when it seemed like you might be trying to hide something or you might be trying to lie, it bothered me. It made me think about my mom. It made me think about what if you were hiding stuff and I've trusted you all this time? And what if I'm wrong about you? Am I wrong about you, Avadon?
I'm sorry you had to go through all that. I can't imagine. What exactly did that lady tell you?
Well, what I saw at the fortune teller was this kind of old rival of mine back in the town. His name was Aaric.
What?
His name was Aaric.
Not. Okay.
And not Aaric. Aaric.
Er.
Aaric. With an E. It turns out that my father is also his father. And that my father cheated on my mother, at least according to her, and claimed that he was dead. But now there seems some question that might not be so. And I
So
mean,
you might have a half brother?
technical, if I'm being technical about it, I mean, I don't technically know if my mother's dead either, really. I just assumed. I don't know. It's just been a real hard few months for me here. I mean, I've been grateful to be with y'all, but I've been going through a lot of this, and I don't talk about a lot of it. So I like to be the funny person, I like to joke around. But when I thought you might be lying to me, I blew up, Avadon, and I'm sorry about that.
I understand. I can't imagine what you're going through.
I just want you to know that you can trust us. You know that you can tell us things, right?
Of course. What, is there, I mean, aren't you curious about your half-brother, Aaric?
See, the thing is, when the vision that I saw of him, he was dying, and he handed me a letter
A letter. Did you see it? What did it say?
from my mom. I don't want to talk
Mickey.
about it. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Oh. Well, where was he? Don't you want to find him? I mean, and your mother and your father, your family, if they're all alive, maybe. Don't you want to see if you can get to them?
I do. I mean, that's part of the reason why I'm here, I guess, in the first place.
Why?
I want to try to find out the answers to these questions.
Well, what does the cult have to do with that? What is this whole... I'm whispering this. What does anything that we're doing here in this wretched place have to do with that?
Well, right now, nothing. Right now, I put that to the side. Because there's bigger things at hand here. I will never be able to find out the answers to those questions if we don't stop what's going on here. I mean, we need to give ourselves future first before we can think about what we're going to do with that. I mean, at least that's the way I see it.
I see.
I mean, what good is it go do knowing what I know about this cult and what they're trying to do if I just ran off and went to try to solve my own problems?
Ah, the selfless type, huh?
It's always been. I can't help that.
Well, Mickey, a trigger's a trigger, but you have nothing to worry about with me.
I want to trust you. I really do. And I don't want you to think that I'm being harsh in saying this. Just, it just might take me a moment,
No, I get it. Don't you worry, though. I'll have your back just like I have this whole time. I haven't let anyone fall, or I haven't stepped behind anything.
I know you haven't. It's just, I need to be able to depend on people around me, and it's just, it felt like a secret, like I said. But it does come down to trust, and I'm gonna choose to trust you until I find a definitive reason not to. Or if I do.
If. That's right, Mickey. You might... I hope that you find that underneath these horns and this fucking cute attitude, I'm really trustworthy and cool and loyal.
Avadon
All right.
just... Her eyes going back and forth between the two of you, and she's just kind of rubbing her fur.
I don't wanna fight with you anymore. And if we're gonna work together, we need to be unified as a unit. We need to trust each other. So Micaiah would just reach over and give her a hug. Because there's no COVID right during this time.
You don't know.
I don't have a mask, right? I can just lean over, give her a hug. Alright. Give her a wink.
There's worse things than
Alright,
COVID.
True that.
I'll reciprocate and continue. I'll offer some cabbage.
Vidania looks at you, Micaiah, and she's like, what about that lady you ran into in the Waterdeep? Who's that?
That's Aaric.
Shit.
That was Eric's mom. That was my mom's best friend. So, yeah, to top it off, my mom and her were friends. So, my dad, I guess he was just like a rolling stone. Just couldn't help himself. Be with all the ladies. I don't know.
Did you have any information about your family?
Not much. Not much, no. Other than that, my town was attacked. She assumed my mother's dead. But not much helpful information. conversation, unfortunately.
What do you mean they were attacked? Their town was attacked by who?
That I don't really know. I only know in my journeys that I heard from afar when I was in the military that it was attacked, and that's the reason why I started my journey back. But then I ran into Zan in the woods, and then everything just kind of happened from there. And once I found out about the cult, like I said, I had to put that to the side for now. There's no point in burdening y'all with it. I mean, we're already dealing with so much stuff. And it wasn't something anybody could do anything about. Least of all myself. But I guess it was time to talk about it. I mean, that's clearly why I got that upset with you. So, like I said, I'm sorry about that.
Well, consider it forgiven.
Oh yeah, I forgot that he wasn't listening. This whole time I totally did. I kept looking at him, and I was like, totally forgot he wasn't listening. That's hilarious.
Sorry, I was reading about how CBD reduces lung damage from COVID by increasing levels of protective peptide.
Really?
There you go.
I mean, we know that.
So, as you guys had this conversation, Urdknot continued schmoozing up. Is there anything in particular you wanted to know specifically from these three that you're talking to?
No, I think I've asked everything I can think of.
Okay.
So I'm just yucking it up.
Make a performance check for me. Zan, is there anything that you wanted to ask in of the wheelwright while you guys were in there?
I'm assuming since Aaric kind of gave me the look that he's kind of like on our side, I'm gonna look at him and say, there are two people just outside the city, a man and a woman. The cult is all over this city. They are not a part of it. They may need help for staying out of the way. If you see them, please help them. They've been through a lot.
I just always want to pinch Zan's cheeks. Like
top cheeks or bottom cheeks?
All of them. All the cheeks.
She did get a peek. She did get a peek in the bath, didn't she?
Ooh, I did. Mm-hmm.
How dare you, Zan, be cheeked up and cheeked out like that on a Tuesday night? How dare you, sir? Aaric's gonna look at Gundolin and tell him, see, not bad people.
He just nods. Does that thing. Rubs his face again. Yep, go ahead.
Oh no. Oops. Damn it. Can you just, before we move on, can you just say, what is it that's trained inside the stalls?
Wyverns.
In the barn? Wyverns?
Wyvern,
Okay,
wyvern, however you like to say it.
I've always called it a wyvern, but
Whoa,
I read things different from people.
I've heard it both ways.
I'm gonna fill Zan in on everything that was just told. This fine gentleman. I'll tell him about the passcodes, the Tiamat or Mother of Strength, Hail Blagapus. Also that there's many giants, and I'll tell him about the stable with the wyverns. That we passed that, right? Is that what Avadon saw?
Yep.
That time when we walked.
We heard, didn't
see it.
You heard
no, we saw the footprint. Is what we saw. Right?
Yeah.
We saw a footprint or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'll fill him in on all that.
All right.
We should head to the castle soon. Then we don't know when they're leaving.
Bye. All right. Just took one last look at Gundel. God, I can't remember his name. Gundolin.
Gundolin.
Just call him
Gundolin.
Shipwreck.
Shipwreck.
Sheriff Shipwreck Wainwright.
There we go. I like it. And just give him a nod of thanks. And he took the money off the counter, right?
Yeah, he took it, tucked it away. He says, "I'll help your friends. You can take down this group of assholes. I'll help your friends."
Thank you.
And then I guess we'll head out.
Right.
Success! I didn't have to kill anybody. I half expected him to like go for a weapon or like throw something at me, and I was going to beat the shit out of him or something, and then accidentally kill him. I thought.
Well, you got it. That's 20 on your persuasion.
True, but when has that ever stopped me from having to kill somebody?
So as you two exit the wheelwrights and I assume head back towards the tavern.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Make a perception check, both of you. Inside the tavern, you all are sitting there, and Ragnar, the barkeep, he comes back in from a back room that he had gone into, and he just starts working at the counter again, just going about his normal business.
That was a 17 for me.
17?
And that was a 5 for Aaric.
All right. So Zan, your keen eye, you kind of look down the road, and it's still an overcast day, and the flurries are coming down. But you do see two familiar shapes walking towards in your direction. You can see the tall male shape, holding onto a shorter feminine shape. Obviously, the two that you had left in the woods. And he's kind of like helping her along, a little bit of a dramatic show of bringing her into the town. Pretty far off from where you're at, a good, I'd say like 60 feet or so away from where you are, maybe even further. So not anywhere really close to where you are. Actually, it's like 200 feet or so back, so you can kind of barely see them entering the town. So, as you're headed towards the tavern. As this happens, inside the tavern, the front door opens, and you all see all those who are in the tavern. You see a tall, dark-skinned guy in his captain's regalia, human man, kind of a thick beard, but that doesn't go too far. It's very cleanly trimmed, curly hair. His armor is this like gold, almost looks like scales in the front. Big, huge, what are these called? All the words are gone from my brain. So these things.
What are the
Shoulder pads.
Shoulder pads.
Or paladin shoulder pads or something like that.
I think they have like a real word.
Something with a P.
That sticks out, and there's like little golden jagged edges sticking up from it, little spikes. Purple and gold, essentially, with this patterns all over that kind of look like different types of scales. On his side, you can hear and see a large flail that is hooked onto his belt. He's got a little bit of a gut that his armor appears to have been built around. And you can see also like a couple of knives within leather straps on his boots. And he comes strolling in to the tavern and looks over, and he says, "I hear we have some new recruits." And he looks over at you all sitting in the tavern. and that is where we'll end it because it's 10:45 on a Tuesday. Oh my god.
Just for reference, is Zan and Aaric back in the tavern when he enters, or we're still outside?
No, you're still outside. You looking back, you can see the two walking up that you had seen, and I would say Aaric, as you're walking in, you do see this larger guy. I'll send you guys a picture of what he looks like, hopefully when I can get Foundry to work again. Only about 60 feet away or so, walking into the tavern.
Alright, when I see him, I would kind of nudge Zan in the ribs with my elbow to get his attention and just kind of nod forward so he sees him.
So by the time, Zan, that you turn around, you don't really see anybody going in anymore. You just see the door closed. So that's where we'll end it. Thank you to everybody who hung out this whole time. We will be back. We will be back on Thursday. We are finishing up our one-shot adventure with.
I'm on my.
What was that?
I was gonna say, he says, all good kidney function is important. And I was like, I'm on my third water. I had one, and then two, and then this is my third. And they're the big ones. They're like, I don't know, a lot of ounces.
And his bladder is only that big.
It's true. I won't say. I probably have a prostate the size of Texas. But
since you were 17 at least.
Hey, you know, maybe I got prostate cancer. What they need to do is just filter my blood and make a cure out of it. You know.
We are old.
I'm old. I pee constantly.
So we'll be back on Thursday with our one-shot, finishing up the one-shot with Fires of Atheline, Ark Survivor, Chris, and Aaron. Aaron is Chris's character. Chris and Kevin, who are newbies to D&D, while the other two are veteran DMs. So we're going to finish up. They have like one final battle, and then we'll do a little chat about how the session went. William.
Yeah, Kevin seemed excited about playing. He was like, oh, it's going to be done next week.
He's excited.
Yeah. He's excited that it's going to be done?
He's excitable.
No.
No.
A very excitable person.
He's excited to play. He likes the battles.
Oh, good. So we will finish that up, and then on Saturday we'll be back with the bums, and we'll see how it goes as they're on the cusp of entering Skyreach.
See, now I'm actually nervous. Got new recruits. Rolled a 1. Kill them all!
And Zan will not be here on Saturday.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
right. We will be down one player.
Good luck.
So we are going to raid Praetor's Rejects, who are playing Dungeons & Dragons Waterdeep right now. So please.
Oh, that's the new one, right?
No, that's an old one.
What am I thinking of?
Icewind Dale.
3.
Yeah, no, this is Waterdeep, the campaign, Dungeons & Dragons campaign.
Oh. I was thinking like the Baldur's Gate, like new video game.
No.
Is that out yet, or did I just read about
that's
that?
out. That's out. Everyone and their mama's playing. So, again, thank you for coming. And 30 is the new 20. We're supposed to have some kind of catchphrase or something. And also,
Cabbage.
eat the cabbages.
Or cabbage.
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 Your cabbage.
Thank
Anyone
you.
else remember that? The Jersey Shore South Park?
Nah. I do love. You ever hear
Your
anybody British use
cabbage.
that?